So we got St. John's University. I don't know if they're even considered a high. We're gonna learn about them. So Queens, New York, exactly. Hey, I wonder who went to this school. I wonder did J. Cole didn't go to this school. Let's see. We're gonna talk about it. I wonder did J. Cole go to this school? He visited this school on his little fall off tour, Trump sale. And so St. John's University is in Queens, New York. St. John's University is a private Catholic university. I did not know there was a private Catholic university in Queens, New York. I did not know that. There was some guy named Hugh Carey. I just said it out loud because he was a Noble alumni. He was a politician, though. J. Cole went to St. John's University. I read that on the bus. I remember on the city bus, I was like, oh, J. Cole went to college, but all right, all right. All right, so, all right, St. John's University, guys. That's pretty cool. He went to a private school, private nonprofit. Interesting. So that explains why he did the Trump sale and why he went to St. John's University. Because I was like, why he went to St. John's? Because most of his schools are HBCUs, but he went to St. John's. That was interesting. So St. John's University on New York, their main campus, which is in Queens, New York. They have about 9,500 undergraduate students. You know me, I like to show you their school webpage because what's the point of live streaming if I can't show you this beautiful website they put together? Yeah, you see them? You see them? Yeah. It's a 4-year, it's a private nonprofit. It's in the city. It's a medium student population. Remember that if you go to school in the city, guys, that could be a lot of money. But remember, J. Cole was on a academic scholarship. So when he did his financial aid at that time, he probably had a good GPA coming out of high school. And then, they pretty much shopped. He shopped there and he was like, he pretty much ain't got to pay nothing to go to school. So that's an interesting conversation to see. Like, he probably don't understand the full. He probably do. I don't know. But it'll be an interesting interview to ask him, like, that whole process and how that went. And so we don't never talk about people who went to college that's celebrities and famous. We won't never talk about their college journey. And then that could be good for a lot of you all who want to take the J. Cole approach, go to college, become a rapper. An artist. And it's really interesting. It says a lot. And so special destinations, as I say, it's a Roman Catholic. It's it's a destination for Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander serving institutions. So guys, when you say Indians, some people say Indians is Native Americans. Native Americans are different from Indians. I've been noticing people, when I hear them talking, they say Indians as Native Americans. It's Native American Indians. There's a big difference. And so the graduation rate is 70%. That could be higher, but it's over the 59% rate. They have an average annual cost of $30,000 a year. That's over the 4-year college midpoint. Now, in my Katranian, I think I said that word right, Katranian, I think it's Katranian. In my, I like to say opposite view, we want that to be below the midpoint for 4-year colleges because that means you're getting a good deal. If it's over the midpoint, you're paying more than the midpoint price. You're paying over the price. You want to pay under usually. That's the goal when I want you to bridge from a 2-year to a 4-year. So now I want to verify. Remember, this is based on if you are like, they always factor in that you're going to get some type of financial aid money or some aid money, like some assistance to pay for school. They always expect that. So this is discounted. This is probably not the real actual price. So now we have to go back to St. John's University. Now, St. John's University, it's always a magnifying glass. It's always a magnifying glass, guys. You see that? It's always a magnifying glass. Yeah, y'all can't see it, but tuition and fees. Go. So then tuition and fees right there. Hold on. Open that. So tuition and financial aid. This is the C. Oh, now look at that. The impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act on financial aid. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act includes several significant changes to federal student aid that will take effect on July 1, 2026. That is good that they put that up there. That is really good. That's the first time I seen that. And y'all know we research schools often. That's the first time I seen that. And we've been talking about all these changes coming in 2026. And I hope everybody's ready come July. And so, file for financial aid. We're trying to find the tuition and fees of St. John's University. Now, how you gonna tell me to come to tuition and fees? There you go. We want to see undergraduate, because I know most of y'all are gonna be undergraduate unless somebody say, "Oh, look at their graduate, look at their law program." So, look. Academic year 2025-2026, fall/spring 2025-2026. This actually makes sense when I listen to J. Cole's songs when he said, "You're gonna go off to school and get a degree. I'm gonna be stuck here with a number 2, nickel and diamond." Oh man, I have some interview questions with J. Cole, man, because like that is making sense. Like he really was telling that story, and that makes sense right there. That's interesting right there. So the base tuition, this is for fall and spring for the year. So they're saying that base tuition for traditional and distant learning students, this is like, you're going to get the base traditional or taking regular classes. You're not in the business school. You're not, pharmacy, D major. You're just base tuition. This is you. This is you right here. And then they're assuming that you're going to be 12 to 18 credit hours. That means full time. And so 17, pretty much 1,800 per credit hour. And then if you're full time, that's like 1,800. You know me, guys. That's like 1,800 times 12. So that's how they got that number. You see that? Oh, can you see that? That's how they get that number. That's 2,600. But they probably did the math. They probably said, well, 18 credit hours if you do the math. 18 times 1,800. I got 32. But that makes a difference if let me see. 1,799 times 12. I still got that. Let me see. Maybe they did 15 times. I'm close, but they did. I got 26,985, so they probably did 16, 17, but it's close enough. But all you have to do is 15. You just take this number right here. You see the 12 to 18 credit hours, guys, and you multiply it from that 1,799. So if you're taking these credit hours, your credit hours are usually on your classes. As we keep growing, I will show you all how to break that down so you'll know how to build your schedule and have a successful semester, so you're not stressed when you're taking your classes per semester, because you don't want to sound cool that, oh, I'm taking physics, anatomy, and all this at one time. You look crazy. Actually, that's not cool. That's crazy. You want to have like 2 easy classes or simple classes with 2 hard classes usually to focus on. And so that's usually how I did the recipe. Or if I really want to chill, 1 hard class, 3 easy classes. So you can manage like saving easy classes. So when you graduate at the end, it's smooth. It's not really like intense. So getting back to that, guys, they're saying like, hey, look, 1,799. Wait, I just realized the per credit hour is $1,799 per credit. Lordy, I just realized that. Oh my goodness. My 2-year was $100 per credit hour. This is $1,000, almost $2,000 per credit hour. That's a lot. So 26,990. They multiply that times 2. That's how they got pretty much 54,000 rounded. And that's a lot of money. That's a big difference from here when they're saying like, look, you're only going to pay for the year 30,000. For the year, you're going to be paying 54,000. Now, keep in mind, St. John's University, I don't know how prestige they are. I don't. But for them to be charging these prices, they have to be pretty prestige. And it's just baffling me though, because their noble alumni are athletes. And then they got Mario, Matthew Cuomo, but it's just interesting. I'm trying to figure it out. And so this does not include dorms and meal plans. Now, this is the type of school they should have some money in the pot. This is one of those type of schools, but right now, I don't know if they got all that money. I don't know if they're one of them ones that got a lot of money. And so the median earning, they saying that if you go to the school, you're going to be making, at the 10 years being removed, you should be at about 78,000 or more dollars. At the least being 10 years, a decade being removed, you should be on your way to six figures almost. And then we just talked about that. So that's the family income right there. That's determining like how much you'll pay, like from your family having $0 to 30,000 in income. Like this is how much your tuition should be for annual costs. That's how much you should be looking at a year. $28,000 potentially at this school. And so that's that little breakdown. So then they got the graduation rate. We already said that. Students return 79% of the time. That's not as high as we would like it. Like we look at, if this school is charging prices like Harvard and stuff, they should be in the 90s a little bit if we comparing it on that scale. You can't compare this school to like my university or Georgia State. And up north, they run a different curriculum. You go to school up north, better than the South. And so it's 79%. That's not that strong, but it's a C average. So C average on graduation rate, C average on, well, I guess a B if you round it, but C average, B average on students returning after their first semester. And then they got financial aid. So 43% of their students, almost 50% of their students, I ain't gonna lie, sit down with our financial aid person, Sam, helps break down this a lot more. And so students receiving federal loans is almost 50%. So that means like after they get their financial aid, right, depending on the type of student, hopefully you're not coming from out of state. You want to be in state. If you're in state, hopefully you're getting awarded some money, because you still have to pay that difference. Like prime example, if you are dependent, you just got to pay that difference. So whatever money you do get, like, remember we said on the lowest end, I'm gonna go back to it. It's on my mind. It's gonna drive me crazy. On the lowest end, potentially, according to this diagram, and it says right here, depending on federal, state, or institutional grant aid available, students in your income bracket may pay more or less than the overall average cost. And so, if you do get Pell is $7,000 max, pretty much like it's really 3,500 per semester estimate. And so that's only gonna knock off, you gotta divide this by 2. That 27,000 is you gotta divide that by 2. So I'm just gonna help you out. I'm gonna just do 28,000 divided by 2. That's 14,000 right there. So you get about 3,500 for Pell. That's discounted by like, I'm gonna just say 3,500 because you used all your Pell. If you're a Pell Grant student, if you even qualify for that. But if you're doing 0 to 30,000, you should qualify. But you get what I'm saying. And then you still owe like $10,500 technically at the school based on your income level. And so you still have to come up with $10,500. So hopefully the school gives you some institutional aid, I guess a scholarship, depending on what New York or Queens have. But this is what I'm saying, guys. You want to manage your money properly and see and understand this. You can't save money in college if you don't understand like the federal, the state, and the institutional grant and aid that you could get. This is why it's important to shop your way around. Because if you like me, I didn't have the highest GPA, so I don't think I would have got a good amount of institution aid from the school or all this state aid or something. I just got the Pell, and I got Pell and state aid when I was a student in Georgia. And so that helped me get about, I think I was getting about $5,000, $6,000 a semester, depending. I had to run it back by Sam. He'll know off the top of his head that time. And so, because I had the Hope Scholarship, because my GPA was good in college. So, but you have to understand that you still can come out of pocket, because we haven't even included your meal plans in your dorms. So let's keep going. So yeah, I can see why they have about, they almost at 50% on students receiving federal loans. So that's why I always tell you guys, don't stay on campus, get a meal plan. Lord, don't get a meal plan, don't stay on campus. And if you're in Queens, New York, you're in the heart of a big city. So personally, based on my situation, even if I was coming from out of state, I really would have to know someone to stay off campus in New York or Queens, because that could be tough. That could be tough living off campus. It might be in your best interest to stay on campus. It depends on what the prices are looking like. That might lead you to go into another school. And typical, we already looked at typical earnings, right? Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, but it's more broken down now. This was not on here before. They're showing that, like, compared to high school graduates, like, hey, you're going to make more than a high school graduate in all states, and then all graduates in New York. That's a nice breakdown. They're saying still could be misleading, but that's pretty good. We ain't gonna go too much in detail because we already sat on a lot of stuff talking. So remember, guys, on campus diversity, remember our guy we just talked about earlier, DJ Lagway. Go see the campus for yourself. If you're in state, I want you to be in state. If you are considering to come from out of state, but the package seems like you're going to go there for free, it seems like it, still visit the school. Still visit the school, because this data can say one thing, but when you get there, it's like really different. So experience the school, because you want to protect your mental, you want to protect your sanity, and you really want to go to a school that makes you feel included. So test scores, they have an 83 acceptance rate. I don't know if that's good, because they charging like $2,000 per credit hour. And if I go to Harvard or Columbia, they have a low acceptance rate, or like Caltech or something, they have an 83 acceptance rate. And once again, I don't know what St. John's is known for, because they are St. John's University is a private Catholic university in Queens, New York. They're not saying they're like a heavily researched institution. They have a high acceptance rate. They have high tuition. They haven't really had any nobly recent alumni really that's like major, I guess you would say. Seems like they're known for the sports, really. But I don't know, guys. I haven't really known St. John's to be very prestigious. I haven't heard anything in my graduate program about them being I haven't heard much about them in my graduate program either, if I'm using experience, about them being very like noble for research or anything. They have a law program. They got grad schools. I'm gonna give them, St. John's gonna have to be a D for me, man. It's gonna have to be a D. For me transferring there based on my situation, if I'm not getting the package, the complete package, I wouldn't go here personally. If I'm going from a 2-year to a 4-year, I had to look at their articulation agreements on a deeper analysis. Like we just really have that much of a free time, once we keep working, and we just have time to research a school and record that, but we don't have that type of time, just to sit down and do that, especially when we're trying to invest on the side and cash flow while the business does not make much right now. So on this research, they're like a D. I wouldn't transfer there, but if I was in state at New York, I wouldn't be going here. But I would shop around, knowing the information I know now. I would shop around and see what I could be looking at, but it's very expensive. It's very expensive, guys. I'm still looking like with financial aid, I'm still looking at like $28,000 a year. And I don't really know like, and then I can go to potentially Ivy, have a chance of getting into Ivy because Ivy's up north. And so like NYU, Harvard, Columbia. So it's hard to get me to go here to St. John's, when I can go to Ivy and pay about the same prices because they're charging like on their sticker price, it's like what we said 53. So we're gonna say 54,000. So and that's not including dorms and housing. So 54,000 times 4, that's for 4 years. That's if I get out in 4 years, I'm looking at $216 total easily. That does not include dorms and housing. So yeah, I'm giving them a D because it could be more to them being prestigious and known for stuff. But they're gonna get a D for me. And somebody could probably clear that up as it being a better institution. I feel like I could be off on this one, but I feel like I'm right on this a little bit. Y'all let me know in the comment section when I edit this if you made it this far, you actually watched it, and let me know yourself if you go here. But if I haven't heard too many people saying they didn't pay any money at St. John's, that can change my perspective. But they 50% of their students pull out federal loans according to the College Scorecard. That's not my data, that's the Department of Education. So we all about you starting at a 2-year bridge to a 4-year that can save you an abundance of money, and picking affordable 4 years that offer good money, or good prices. Like I like schools with good sticker prices personally. That's me. I'm doing well in life. Some of you all might understand like with cheap perspective of shopping around school to school and school paying you, but your GPA has to be a certain scale. You have to be one of them ones kind of. And so, or based on your situation. So yeah, I'm gonna rate them a D. And yeah, so that's all. We done. Debt-free degree. They sell brain debt, but we ain't.